Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I'll just pull this into the field so that I can turn around rather than doing it out here. I've baled up all of this field like I said I would. I've dropped the baler back in the yard. I haven't actually put it away or anything, I just drove it into the yard and stopped. The question that I asked you last week was... oh yes, the sheep or the beef and pigs. I said I've only really got time to do one or the other, so what do you want me to do? And... surprisingly, the sheep really took off into an early lead. Far more people said they wanted me to do sheep rather than beef and pigs. But then the beef and pigs caught up at the end. And it's very, very close. But I think that the beef and pigs have slightly pulled into the lead. So I will do beef and pigs and I won't do sheep on this map. So thank you very much for everybody that voted and posted your comments and so on. I had another comment from Ohio Farm Kid, and I talked about that actually in episode 3 of Higher Hills, which was Saturday's episode. Today's episode is Monday. So, yeah, if I sort of went into that a bit more detail. I was talking about the straw walkers and the giant screw in some of the combines known as axial flow combines. And he said that it's not a screw, it's a rotor, so I went and looked it up, and according to US patent number, I did actually have the number, oh here it is, US patent number 2090888, it is a patent for a screw rotor. It's both of them together, so there you go. If I'm doing something wrong, please call me out on it. I do not want to do things wrong. Whoa. Right, okay, so if I'm doing something wrong, like I was right there, how am I going to get this out of here? I'm hitting the wall now. I came in too far. You know what? I'm going to leave this one right here, this little disaster. I will unhitch it and I will shunt them around with tractors when nobody's watching, because that could take a little while. So, yeah, that was just bad driving. It wasn't inaccurate, it was just bad driving. Also, I have on Higher Hills, and I will mention... oh, by the way, we are hiring today. That's the next thing that we want. And before I get to that, the question for this week, I need to show you that. I do get sort of confused and muddled. I do all... no, right. I'm going to be doing some foraging soon. We're going to cut one of the fields, and that is going to be taken up, and that is going to be put into the biogas plant. So what are we going to use for it? So I thought I'd just go for one of the ones that I had, but instead I have downloaded the Beast Pack. That one's got a gearbox. I've not really tested that, but I'll probably just go for this one anyway. I will hire one of these. So you got this one here, which is the Krone Big X 1100 Beast. Now, that's not the only thing, okay? Oh, the other one is the Jaguar 980, which you kit out with the Claas Orbis 900. Okay, that is a wonderful little bit of kit. Works really well. It's great. You can also hitch on the Krone items on here, the Easy Collect, Flow, the X-Disc, that sort of thing. So you can use those on the Claas Jaguar, the 980. So do you want me to use the Claas 980, or do you want me to use the Krone Big X? If I use the Krone Big X, however, I'll get to those two lorries in a second. That comes with one of those three there, which are really good. I've tried them out, they work really well. But the other thing that it comes with, oh, I didn't even realise there was a header trailer there. Krone trailer, nice. Is this one, the Krone Big X Cargo, and you tow this one along behind, and that goes straight into, it goes from the forager straight into this one, and then you run up alongside with the trailer and you empty it out, sort of a temporary tank, kind of like on a combine. It works really well, it is really cool. I downloaded the Jaguar to start with, sort of thinking I'll find another one, but then I seen this, and I thought, you know what, we'll put this up as an option. I'll be surprised if you guys go for the Jaguar, to be honest, because this thing looks sensational. But it is your vote, it is your game. Head down below and let me know what you think. This other one, the other pack that was put in here, is these two trailers, along with the MIG pack, which, that's a trailer. You've got another trailer there. You've got, this looks like a, I don't speak German, but I'm assuming, oh yes, pigs and beef. So we'll use that for the pigs and beef. We'll try that. We'll get that one with that one on it. This one here is a fertilizer spreader. This one is a manure spreader. This one here is a slurry. I think that's a slurry spreader. It might just be a carrier. It might just be a transport. One of those has got to be a transport and one of those is a carrier. I'm not sure which. But anyway, that is there, and that goes with the... oops. that goes for those 2 lorries. That was also included in the pack, and I didn't even realise until I started hunting through my mods thing here. So we got that one, or you got that one, which is the one with the gearbox. I would just use this one here. So yeah, I'll if I can have a look at them later on, I will have a look at them. I just wanted to show you those. They look really cool. But yeah, decide between the Jaguar and the Krone. It is your vote. It is your game. Head down below and let me know what you think. Now, I've left everything out in the yard. I haven't put anything away. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to gather in some bales. So I'm going to put all these tractors away a minute. And then I'm going to hire the Arcusin for dragging the bales back. And then I'll get back to you. Right, I've put all the tractors away. It does pay to work tidy, really. You shouldn't just leave everything sprawled out across the yard. And we are going to be using this Arcusin stacker. It cost us £3,600 to hire it for a day. You'll probably notice a slight improvement in frame rate. Someone did mention that my frame rates seem to be dropping a bit. I was getting a bit laggy in spots on this map. So I have temporarily dropped the graphics quality. But I was also told that actually you don't see that you don't notice a graphics quality drop all that much when you go from high settings down to medium settings. So hopefully you won't notice anything too drastic in this. And just come on around here. I'll go in cab to drive out to the field, but then I'll come out of cab so that we can see it. And we do need a washer station. I'm thinking of putting a pressure washer down there on that corner. Be nice to be able to clean things up, but we want to have a look at that peecon mixer. We want to load it up, and then we want to get the cattle going with some decent quality, decent amount of milk being produced, so we can get a bit of money out of them. And then the next 2 jobs that I'm doing, I'm sort of going to do them one after the other. We're going to plant sunflowers in this field, and then we're going to plant potatoes in one of the freshly ploughed fields. Don't know which way around that we're going to do that yet. Right, that one goes out into position like that, and it does just sort of automatically leap the bales onto the platform, but it does work well. I do like this trailer. I have used it quite a bit, especially in my time lapses, and I have always gotten on very well with it. I really do like it. So we'll gather up one lot and whip them back to the yard, and then we can test loading a load of stuff up into the peecon mixer. What was I saying? I think we could do 5 bales of each. 5 silage, 5 hay, and 5 straw, I think, is what we can do. So I will double check. I'll drop in one of these and then one of the silage bales, and we can just sort of see the quantities that we're getting. And this one's working quite well. I'll do the rest of this load, I think, out of cab, so you can sort of get a better view of how the machine is working. Now obviously, because it sort of leaps too, you're using the game mechanics a little bit. Something else I have been called out on, I said about the combining, especially when I was combining this field, I was told that I was going around the corners too sharp. And yes, I agree, I was going around the corners a little bit too sharp. You can take a reasonably sharp corner when you're in a combine, but you don't want to do it too sharp, and you want to try and keep straight lines if you can, because of the lifters on the combine. So yes, I apologise for that, and I will make sure that I drive my combine with a little bit more care and respect in future. The other thing is, in higher hills, and I'll mention this when I go back to higher hills as well, just in case anybody doesn't watch both of these series, I have a tractor. Now, I thought that the tractor was a same tractor, just, reading what it said on the bonnet. I've never used those tractors in real life. I've never had anything to do with those tractors in real life whatsoever. I've never seen one operating ever in real life. And I have been instructed that it is not a same tractor. It is actually pronounced Sammy. So I do apologise for anybody that was cringing when I mispronounced that one, but that is a Sammy tractor, and I will try to make sure that I do it right in future. Right, let's go in cab. We'll drive back. We're going to tip this up into the shed right next to where the hay bales are, and the rest of the bales, I think I'll gather them between this episode and the next episode so that we don't get bored with that. We will load up the peecon mixer now, and then we've got to see about, well, we're going to have to hire a potato planter, aren't we? Now, we're going to have to move that New Holland a minute. Incidentally, Daggerwin recently posted a video of, he was testing out one of the new games, where there's a few new farming games coming into play. People have sort of seen how well Giants are doing and decided that they want a piece of the action, which is fair enough. If they can make a good quality game that will match the integrity of this game, then go for it. Yeah, competition is good. It encourages more development of the different games, etc., etc. I wasn't that impressed with it, to be honest. I got to say that overall it wasn't that great. It seemed a bit slow. I mean, it was only an early sort of version of it. I'm sure that there's plenty of room for improvement there, but I wasn't impressed. However, there was one thing that I did really like. I can't remember which one it was. I think it may have been Pure Farming or something like that. I know that there's a few of them coming out very soon now. Which one am I looking for? It's O. But there was one aspect that I did like, is when you go up to the tractor and you go to get into the cab, it doesn't immediately jump from the ground to the tractor. So I go to here, look, and I go up to the tractor. I press E to enter the tractor, and I'm instantly zapped to this point. Whereas that game, it didn't do that. What it did was... Alright, I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. And this is the tricky bit. You know what? I'm just going to do it from this angle. And if I come up there, you need to try and make sure that you've got the trailer straight. I know I'm not perfectly lined up with that wall, which isn't ideal. Now I want to come away from there slightly so that I don't have any clipping, because if the bales are clipping into a wall or anything like that, when you let go of them, they will launch up across the map. Right, we can drop them there. That is perfect. That's nicely done. So you can come out, and then we lower that one back down. Hopefully it doesn't rip a hole in the roof. Nope, just fine. Yeah, so when you went to get into the tractor, it showed a whole animation of climbing up the steps on the tractor, opening the door, getting in and sitting down, which I thought was actually really, really good. That was a nice touch to the game, and it's something that I would like to see in Farming Simulator, so that you actually climb into the tractor rather than just leaping through. But yeah, that was about the only genuine positive that I had when I was looking at that game. So at the moment, it is still definitely Farming Simulator for me. I'm just getting the tractor here. I will go and hitch it onto the peecon mixer, and then we can get started with loading it all up. Right. First of all, I want to drop in one of these silage bales. You can use the spikes to pick up these bales, so long as you don't go spiking any other bales when you're picking it up. Now, is it going to let me sort of drag it and flip it over? Or am I just going to have to do it? I'll just have to do it like that, I think. There we go. Right, let's pick that one up. And I need to put the bar out a little bit because it's quite high to reach in. Come through, and yes, I am going to do this out of cab because it is so much easier not having to swap between my joystick and my mouse while I'm driving. That's just how I'm going to do it. Right, let's just go and double check, because I think those bales are 4,000, but they might not be. They might be 3. They are 4,000. And I believe that... Let's run around this way. I believe the bigger bales are also 4,000, so we will chuck in a bale of hay there a minute. And if those are also 4,000, then we can chuck in 5 bales of each, which will make 20,000 litres of each product that we've got. Hay, straw, and silage. And that will give us 60,000 in total, which will then feed into our cows. So let me just drop that bale in, and... Oop, there we go. Right, let's just make absolutely certain... Don't walk under the boom. Do not walk under the boom, Frith. You shouldn't even stop and get out with it up in the air like that. That's just not good. Right, so that one is also 4 rather. So I will put in 4 another 3 each of these. So let me just grab... If I come around to the side, I can see it a little bit easier. I try to do it so that everybody gets a good view, but I can also see what I'm doing. Let's go up there. And if I pop that one on there, I can drop 3 in at once. I'll pick 3 up together. There we go. Down. There we go. Where I used to work, up in the straw fields, which in flatter parts of my country, I used to go up there for harvest work in the summer. And we would bale up thousands and thousands of acres of straw, which I know for some parts of the world is no, tremendous feat. But here in the UK, considering that across a lot of the UK, an average farm is only about 300 acres, it it's quite a bit different, especially different to how I grew up. I grew up where a 300-acre farm was a big farm. You know, you're looking at 150, 200-acre farms. So yeah, I used to go up to the straw fields and I would help bale up and stack the straw. And to start with, I was mostly doing stacking straw and stuck in an old, can't see that very well at all, stuck in an old clapped out load all. It wasn't very good. It was really hot, horrible weather, but that's where I put in several thousand hours operating these types of machines. And what we used to do is different places you would stack them up in different manners, and one place in particular we would stack our bales 9 high. You would make the stacks of straw. It would be bales about the same size as the ones that we've got here, and in real terms they are, you know, I don't remember, I think they're 8 feet long. What were the bales? They were 8 feet long, 2.5 feet high, and 3 feet wide, was it? Or 4 feet wide? 4 feet wide, because they go into square. Yeah. So 4 feet wide, 8 feet long, and 2.5 feet high. And you would have these bales, you would stack them all up in the fields, and the big stacks usually would be 8 bales high. So we would bring them all into a central location. There would be 8 bales high, 4 bales wide, and then we would do them about 30 bales long. So you'd have massive, great big stacks. And then you'd have to have a set distance between them so that the insurance would allow us to actually do it. Right, well, those are 8 high there, aren't they? So I've got an extra bale up. Yeah, there we go. I'm not going to try to do 4 bales picking up on here. Although we used to pick up 4 bales at a time, because as we were doing them 8 bales high, picking up 4 at a time actually worked out just right. We had bigger forks than you got on this game. Right. So that one more bale in there, that should be about right. But then one place that we used to do, he used to have a different fork on his. He used to have a grab, and he could pick up, he'd modified it slightly, and he could pick up 3 bales. So he would do all of his 9 high, so that he didn't have to pick up part ones. So you'd have these huge stacks that were 9 bales high instead of just 8 bales high. It was amazing how much straw you would store in these places. It was always amazed me. You're looking at the amount of straw there, and then you'd have a huge gap between it, and then the next stack, and then the next one. You'd have loads of stacks all over the place. Some places would have nearly 20 stacks. That is a phenomenal amount of straw. It really is. And then through the whole of the winter, the person I used to work for, I was only 75% full. I put 5 in, didn't I? No, I only put 4 bales of straw. And I only put... Did I only put 4 of each? That's 48,000. For 12 times 4, no, that's 36. And plus 3 more somewhere. Let me just take a look at the percentages. They should all be the same. Oh yeah, 33% each. Right, well, I could actually put in another bale of each, couldn't I? So I could do... Oh, of course, I put in 4 bales. I said I was going to do 5. I didn't do 5. I only did 4. Okay, my bad. I miscounted. I was getting too stuck into describing those giant stacks of straw. Yeah, and the guy that I worked for, he would spend the entire winter taking those all that straw in with his haulage company, load it onto lorries, and drive it around the rest of the country to sell it to all the different farmers. It was always quite an experience getting involved with all of that. Now, how do I tip this stuff out? Can I not tip this out? I've got mixed ration here, haven't I? Yeah, it's proper mixed ration. It's all there. Do I need to... I don't need to turn the machine on, do I? No. Stairs up, stairs down. Right, apparently I can't tip it here. Oh, I think maybe I need to go into the next section so that it'll reach the trough, do I? Okay. We're going to have to go round in a circle. Out the way, cow. It is a bit of a struggle for this thing. It is an awful lot of weight in here. There is a huge amount of weight. We will combine those 2 fields soon, at some point. I would like to get those done before we leave. I know I have said that before and not actually combined a field. Oh, these cows. Squashing them. I don't like that. It would be really cool if the cows actually reacted to your presence. Now, can I come up through here and tip it out? Ah, there we go. You've got to go up through the narrow one. Which doesn't really make a lot of sense, to be honest. You would have thought that you'd go up through the centre, but... oh, that's alright. It's just a slightly different way that the shed is laid out. Let's come down through. It's a monster mixer, it really is. If I can... it's because of the shed, I can't see it very well. Come back a little bit there. Ooh, nope. I'm trying to get the angle just right so that you can see it a little bit at least. So you can see you can see 2 of the paddles. If I come over here, you could just see the 4 paddles. That's empty now, so we now have 48,000 litres in there. I want to get a bit more. I'm not going to do any more now. I'll tell you what, I'll do another load. So I'm going to do another load now. I'll get another load loaded up into the machine before the next episode, and I will also clear that field of bales before the next episode. Oh, you know that we come through here, and I've said that we're going to leave the gates open because we've got an electric fence across here. One farm that a friend of mine worked on, they had a really cool idea with electric fence. What they had was they had these sort of metal things on springs that went over the electric fence. If the cows touched them, it would give them a bit of a zap. And the actual metal things themselves, they went up over the fence and didn't actually touch it most of the time. So it wasn't earthing the fence or anything like that. But when you approached it with a tractor, you slowed down and you just advanced over the fence. And the metal would then come down and touch the fence. It would earth it for a little while it was doing that, but that's no big deal when it comes to an electric fence. But it meant that you didn't have to get out of the tractor. A lot of people have things where you've got a nice easy handle. You hop off, you move the fence back, and then you leap back into the tractor, and so on. But this one, it worked really well. You could just drive over it. There were certain machines that you couldn't do that with because they would get hung up on it, and you had to be very careful and sort of conscious of the fact that there was only certain things that you could drive over it with. But it did work really well. It was really awesome. And I only ever seen it once. I went round to see him at the place that he was working and seen this thing in action, and it was very cool. Normally, I say, you wouldn't have that, but anyway, that was just like a little bit extra. So we'll just assume that we've got that really cool thing where you can just slowly, carefully drive over the fence without having to stop or get out or anything like that, because that was just awesome. I'm going to load up another load now, and then I will go and get more bales of straw, and I'll stack the bales of straw down on a line down through there. I'll just do, you know what, yeah, I'll put 5 in this time, 5 of each. So we got, I'll do 5 of those. I've only got 2 silage bales left, which means soon we're going to have to do a cut of silage to put in there. So maybe that field over there, we will whole crop that, drag it back to the farm and stick it in there so that we've got a bit of silage to use. Yeah, that might be a good idea. We could use that forager, whichever one you guys vote for. So my question for today, that one. Question for today, here we go. Harvesters. Do you want me to use the Krone Big X 1100 Beast with the bunker thing that you hitch onto the back and drag along around the field? Or do you want me to use the Claas Jaguar 980 with the Claas Orbis 900 on the front? It is your vote, it is your game. Head down below into the comment section, let me know what you think, and I will do my best to accommodate what everybody wants. Now then, there. If you've enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give me a like, and if you really enjoyed it, please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And I'm just going to, so yeah, I will load these up. In our next episode, we will quickly feed what I dump in here in for the cattle, and then we will get started on a bit of planting. And I think we will probably start on sunflowers first, because I really want to do the sunflowers. I'm really looking forward to sunflowers. So that's what we're going to do first. We will go for them. And then if, well, most of that actually will be auto plant. We can just leave the hired help. So we might even be able to get started on potatoes as well. We are going to do a crop of potatoes. I will make sure of it. And I think that's about everything. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.